A very pleasant good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the People's Forum of Industries with Big Stone. Today is the 10th of October. As you know, today we mark the anniversary of the Man Bay Rebellion that happened in 1865 with Paul Bogle. But just to keep you abreast with what's happening in the news, let's go back to the detention of the Education Minister, Mr. Royal Reid, and of course the CMU President, Mr. Fritz Pinnock. Let's go to what is written in the news. It says, Reid and 4 others slapped with multiple charges remain in custody. Former Education, Youth and Information Minister, Royal Reid, and President of the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, Professor Fritz Pinnock, are among 5 persons who have been slapped with multiple criminal charges and are to face the courts at an early date. Reid, his wife Sharon, and daughter Sherelle, along with Pinnock and Kim Brown Lawrence, counsel for the Brownstown Division in Northwest St. Anne, the constituency which Royal Reid aspired to represent in Parliament before he was fired on March 20th, as corruption allegations emerged in relation to both the ministry and the CMU. All remain in police custody. Before daylight on Wednesday, a joint operation involving the Financial Investigation Division of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency, and the Constabulary Force mounted an operation in which 4 homes were simultaneously raided across 3 parishes, Kingston, St. Catherine, and St. Anne. The investigative agency have jointly indicated that the massive operation was part of investigations into allegations of corruption, fraud, and misappropriation of public funds involving the Education Ministry and the CMU. On the conclusion of the operations on Wednesday, the 5 detainees were interviewed by investigators in the presence of their attorneys. A joint release from the investigating agency stated, at the completion of the interview process, the 5 were charged with a number of criminal offenses, including breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, CPA, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in a public office at common law, breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA. The investigating agency said the accused persons are to be placed before the courts at the earliest possible time. The agency also said the investigation remained ongoing. Now, it is very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, that after so long, that finally an arrest has been made. But the most appalling thing was to what the Minister of Justice said after these people were detained. And I'm going to read what the Minister of Justice said. And the newspaper reads, ladies and gentlemen, the reaction of the Minister of Justice, Mr. Delroy Chuck. It says, Chuck expresses disappointment at Royal Reid. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has expressed disappointment at the way in which his former cabinet colleague Royal Reid and the President of the Caribbean Maritime University, Professor Fritz Pinnock, were arrested by detectives in separate but related pre-dawn operations on Wednesday. Several of Reid's family members and a Jamaica Labour Party functionary in the Northwest St. Anne constituency, which Reid represented before he fell from grace in March of this year, were also detained in a major development in a corruption scandal that has rocked the Jamaica Labour Party government. In speaking to reporters following a child diversion sensitization meeting in St. Mary on Wednesday, Minister Chuck commented on the development earlier in the day, primarily on how it unfolded. The DPP seems to have had no additional material or evidence, and what seems so unfortunate is that the arrest took place in a manner that looked like a Nicodemus in the night. Of his regrets, he further said, "I don't get the impression that these persons are actually running away. They have made themselves available on all occasions, so in fact, if an arrest should have been made, they could easily have been asked to come in so that they could be charged." He also spoke on the question of bail. According to Chuck, if charges were to be laid against the persons now arrested as a result of the probe, I suspect they could easily have been granted their own bail, or they could be asked to surrender their travel document, as the case may be. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency reported Wednesday morning that the Financial Investigation Division and the Constabulary Financial Unit of the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime conducted simultaneous operation at 4 locations in Kingston. The plot thickens, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the Minister of Justice, Minister Delroy, think that the police could have acted in a different manner in apprehending or conducting their investigation in regards to the Royal Reed and Fritz Pinnock case. There's a lot more to be unfolded as the story progresses. This is just a brief as to a follow-up, ladies and gentlemen, to the story that I reported yesterday. Have a wonderful day, and please do take care of yourself. Thank you very much for watching.